Hi guys. No, not hi guys. Hi, it's me again. The second video of the lockdown. Actually, the third one. This one isn't a food video. Even though I'm wearing this apron, I don't know why I'm wearing the apron or the chef uniform. You know these bad habits. Um, what I'm going to be talking about now is equipment. What I was actually going to be doing is making this one video. It was going to be food photography, food styling, and all the equipment that I use for my photography. This smaller than a book that is next to me, I wrote 2 years ago. If you don't have it, please get it. Bestseller. It sells out though. Yeah, people always saying it's not in stores, but please look out for it. And if you can't find it in the store, this sounds like an advert now. Yeah, but that is Deidre. The reason why I'm showing you is that I learned so much when I did that. When I do another video where I explain how we wrote Deidre, I'll explain the process behind it. But the reason why I'm mentioning it is I had a photographer for all the photos and also had a book stylist who put it all together. Um, there is a process to writing a cookbook. It's not like I'm writing a novel. Actually, it is kind of because there's a beginning, there's a climax, and there's an end to a novel. And then you add little mini climaxes here and there and twists. A cookbook is similar. There is a kind of storyline in the photography. There's also a storyline in the recipes as well. For example, you can't on one page be talking about samosas and how to make samosas, and then you turn the page and then it's a bowl of soup. Then you turn the page is ice cream, and then next page is about food from Asia and blah blah. I guess you understand where I'm going with this. So there is a flow to a cookbook, and everyone has a certain eye. Not everyone's eye is the same. So there's a talent to it. Even what I'm going to show you now, you can get all the equipment I have, but not everyone can use it properly. That is why I share so much info. I always say to people, I don't understand the saying that a chef never shares his recipes. The talent isn't in the recipe, the talent is in the person. So sharing a recipe does not mean that person is going to be better at you or be your competition. Um, as I digress, to my left is my baby. This is my, I know some of you geeks will ask me, what kind of camera is it? What is the brand? This is a Canon, it's a 200D. Don't confuse it for a 2000D. This is a 200D. The reason why I have this one is because of this lovely baby here. So when I'm recording, I can just, or when I'm doing videos, I can twist it around and I can actually watch what I'm talking when I'm talking nonsense to you. And the nice thing is, I haven't used it that way because I hate taking selfies and I hate talking to a camera, ironically, as I said on my YouTube channel. You can hold it up and do the cool kid thing and talk into it. But the important thing on it is not the camera, it is this baby. This is called a Nifty 50. It is a 50mm lens. It hardly zooms. Yeah, no, it hardly zooms. So you have to be pretty close up to whatever you're photographing with this. If you follow me on Instagram and on Twitter, you'll have seen all the crazy photos I take of my puppy, Porridge. All those beautiful photos I've been taking with this. All the food photos, the ones that look very dramatic and stylized and all of that. I'll actually share a few just now. I use a Nifty 50. It is, it is gold when it comes to food photography. You do get 40 mils, you do get 20 mils as well. But I found that the 50 mil is the best one when it comes to food because uh, you don't have to be that close to the food, but you also are close enough to get all the dramatic elements of the food plating. Whereas with other ones, you literally have to be your nose in the food and you can't see a wider angle. As I talk nonsense, actually. But yeah, You can play around with different lenses. Everyone's got their own skill with different lenses, but this is the one that I use. In my bag next to me, I've also got my 18 to 55 mil. This one is, I bought it after I got the camera. The standard lens that comes with this is actually a 18 to 55 mil. But the problem with the one that comes with the camera is that it doesn't have a stabilizer on it. The reason why you want a stabilizer is because it makes it silent. It zooms on its own because it's got auto zoom, but the one that came with it, it's there to my left. I just put it there to remind myself, but I'll never use it again. It made noises. If you've ever watched my very early YouTube videos, you can actually hear the very first lens I was using zooming in and out. It annoyed the crap out of me. So these two lenses I actually bought on Amazon. It's cheaper to buy things on Amazon than in South Africa. The duties you have to pay on top of the prices, they actually work out cheaper than here, buying the lens here. But yeah, I bought that one. This is the one, sorry, I digress. I use it for all my video photography. For my videos. So when I'm not using my phone, which is what I'm using right now, to record myself talking nonsense, I use this. And this is also what I use for, if you see any of my food photos from a distance, you can use this from 1 meter to 2 meters away, and you'll still get beautiful photos because you can zoom in, but not too close. And you can show an entire table. Whereas with this one, you have to be about 1 meter or closer to the food. From a distance, you won't get that dramatic close-up food photos that you get with food styling. And then there's another lens I have in here. If you look at my Kruger Park photos, actually some of them are here on the YouTube channel. If you go back a few months, the zoomed in photos I took of the animals was with this one. This is a 55 to 250 mil. It's not the lens that I want. The lens that I want, as I keep telling anyone, but no one keeps offering to buy it for me. I need new friends. Anyway, I digress. The lens that I want is a 300 mil, but yeah, that's for animal photography. You don't need that. I'm just showing you. I carry all of it in here. Since I've got it up here, let me show you what else I have in here. This is my hood, lens hood. It's a rubber one. The reason why is because I tend to drop stuff. So you can make it smaller if it's not too bright. If it's very bright, you can make it bigger. You don't really need it indoors. This is basically to protect your images from any flares. Well, not protect, but to stop any flares, light flares hitting your lens. In here as well, I've got a microphone. So when I'm not recording with my phone like I'm doing now, I use my setup is like this. It's my camera with this lens, and on top of it comes my, I know photographers have funny names for it. Fluffy, I don't know, just a fluffy speaker. There's a term for it, but yeah, this is what I use. The inbuilt microphone on these cameras is, okay, if I was to swear, I'd have to put parental guidance on my video, which means it will be blocked from, okay, I'm not going to swear. But yeah, this is what I use for my videos. I was about to swear again. I'm not going to swear, stop it. Okay, so that's the camera stuff. What else do I have in my camera bag? To transfer images, I use a cable. I know some photographers, I'm not a photographer, I'm a chef, but some photographers like to immediately see the full photo on their laptop. I don't do that. I just take lots of photos and then afterwards go through all the images and pick what I like. The nice thing with this one, it's got Bluetooth, it's got Wi-Fi as well. So as soon as you've taken a photo, you can immediately look at it on your phone, which is what I do sometimes. I'll connect it to my phone, take photos, and then immediately, if there's something I like, I will share it on social media, online. That's an awesome thing with these modern cameras as well. They've got all of those features. But there are people who still like the old school cable attachment that can also be attached here. It's got HDMI. I'm not. Canon needs to sponsor me. Hey, the way I'm punting this. But yes, what I'm going to show you now though is all my standard equipment, the stuff that I use to actually take photos in my house. As you can tell by all the DVDs and CDs, I'm at home. I am not in our kitchen because of the lockdown. Okay, so the next images that you're about to see will be my equipment. Okay, so this is the equipment I use. Let me zoom back out. That's the corner I was sitting at just now as I was recording. And oh, there's the noisy stool. Lights, let me start there. These lights here have a canvas. They're not hot at all. It's LED lights back inside of it. Let me try open it so you can see. There is 4 of them, light bulbs. I'm worried about my electricity right now, so I must hurry up because they chow electricity. I've got 2 of them. When you're doing food photography, you don't necessarily need 2, but the reason I use 2 is that they eliminate each other's shadow. So if you've got 1, you'll tend to have a shadow behind it. But if you do only have 1, then you use this thing. Sorry, I keep moving my phone. This is a light diffuser. This is a 5-in-1, so it's got silver. If I was to open the zip, you'll see behind the silver is gold. And then behind this black here is white. And then in the middle of it is the see-through one. The see-through light diffuser is for harsh light. For example, if you are taking photos and this direct sunlight, you need to filter it, especially for food. So that is what a screen diffuser would do. It's made out of very thin material, so it lets light in, but it breaks it up. On that small table is my portable stove. I'm glad the name has been scraped off. I don't want to give them free publicity, but if you know brands, then you can work that out. It's a gas stove. I used to use an entire flat top, and sometimes you'll see me doing videography like that, but I prefer using this one because it makes small, sharp, and short videos, and it also stops me from having too many ingredients, which is a problem I have. I tend to fill my tables up with a lot of ingredients, so having this helps, and it stops me from putting too many things on the table. And it's the current trend. If you watch tasty videos, if you watch what's that other network that does 2-minute videos, they all have tiny little stoves like this, and they make short and sharp videos. This thing that I'm holding onto is, I won't call it a tripod, but it is technically, because it's got 3 legs. But this jobby here is very good. It goes very high. If you're into food photography, I'm sure you've seen those, sorry about that noise, those harvest table shots where the photo is taken above the table and it takes a photo of the entire table. This is the setup that we'll be using for that. Your camera attaches to the front of it. This comes off, it twists off, and your camera attaches to this knob here. And this also extends this arm here. So it's all about just unwinding and pulling things out, raising them, pulling them down. Very, very practical. It's what I use for those over-the-shoulder photos and videos. Someone asked me, how do you have both your hands in these videos? Because who's holding the camera? This is the person who's holding the camera. Very, very useful. And it actually turned out cheaper than a tripod that has a bendable head. This is my tripod. It's what I had my phone on just now for recording. Very useful. It fits on my camera bag, all angles, the head spins. Okay, it's locked right now, but this spins around, which is very useful. It means I don't have to keep lifting the tripod. And also it moves up and down. When you're taking food photos, you like to lean through like that. But when I get to the food photography stuff, I'll explain that. Having a very good tripod is worth it. They're pretty expensive, getting the quality ones, but they're definitely worth it, especially if this is what you're going to be doing for a living. You want angles, you want options as well. But yeah, those are the. I've mentioned this. I've mentioned the lighting, the diffuser. This is basically the starter kit. There are other things that get a bit more complicated and more expensive, but this would be the starter pack. And this is an indoor setup for shooting at night, which is something you will never ever see me doing. And you'll never see a food photo of mine that is taken indoors right against the wall like this. I take all my food photos by a window. But when I do the vlog about taking photos, I'll explain that, and I'll explain diffusing light through a window and why natural light is better for food than using these babies. I got them and I hardly use them. Maybe I should actually get into makeup. Yeah, because the makeup ladies, well, they prefer the ring lights too now. But yeah, this is the kind of setup they also have for their makeup tutorials. Anyway, I'm digressing. That is the background of the equipment I use for taking photos.